In this video, we are going to talk about an update to my last video about RN endorsement application in California and how important it is to send your application as soon as you figure out that you're going to work here, because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake as I did. It's been a month and a half since I filled out my temporary licensing and 2 months and a half since I applied for RN endorsement, and up to this day my application is still pending. Like I said on my last video, I was freaking out because my contract ends at the end of March, which is now March the 6th, and I have not gotten my license. And so this topic is very important, and I have good news for you guys, so I'm excited to tell you about that. Second topic is talk about my contract, what the rate is nowadays, and how I like living here in California. So the good news is that emergency medical licensing in California has been extended to June the 30th of this year. So all of us, my friends, are very excited about that. There's only one friend of mine that got her license after 2 weeks from the application date because she used to work in California. So that was an advantage for her. But none of me, my friends, has gotten our license, and we started our contract here in December of last year. The Texas Board of Nursing message at Breeze says that the Emergency Medical Service Authority, EMSA, of State Medical Personnel Authorization Approval, has been extended to June the 30th of 2022. So, you guys, since this emergency licensing has been extended to end of June, I'm sure there are a lot of travel nurses on different agencies that are applying. Even if you just do the 13-week contract, 8-week contract, you're still going to use this emergency licensing. And so my advice to you is please put in your application for temporary licensing and permanent licensing as soon as you start processing your application here in California. And that's I really emphasize that is very important. Now, talk about my contract and how I like living here in California and how I like my job and what are the good rates here in Bay Area. But living here has been a challenge for me. It's because I'm not living in a house. I'm afraid to live in somebody's house for Airbnb. So I lived my first 2 months I live in a hotel, and the hotel I live in was already expensive, but I felt like it wasn't in a safe area. Unlike Houston, if you live in the suburb, you are pretty safe, and here there are a lot of homeless people. The problem was I work at night, so by the time I leave the hotel, it's already dark, and there will be people outside the barbecue pit sitting around smoking pot, and you can smell that strongly. And then there are homeless people's car outside my window. Although I live in the 3rd floor, you can see it on the window. You can even open the window and have privacy because the homeless person's living there. So that's how I didn't feel safe about it, even though I live in a place where it's supposed to be very expensive. And then one day I got in the back door of the hotel, and this guy peeled off from the group of people that was smoking pot and followed me upstairs. I ran up the stairs into my room, and I shut the door by the time he got to my floor, so luckily. And then the following day, somebody was trying to open my door, and it was like 30 times trying to swipe his card, to just yanking on my door. And that's when I started to feel very unsafe. So the next day I checked out and moved to a different hotel. Now I'm living in a hotel in Bay Area that cost me $4,000 a month to rent here. And as you can see, I have 1 suite and 1 bedroom. That was the complimentary from the hotel for being a healthcare worker. This price is a studio suite, but they gave me 1 bedroom suite for that price for $4K a month. Talking about expensive living in Bay Area. But I feel safer here. I don't see junk cars outside. I don't see homeless outside. But this is Bay Area. So that's the living in Bay Area and staying here as a traveler. So in terms of my contract and assignment, in my experience here working in California, The facility I'm at is not a level 1 trauma. We are level 3, and so our patient and nurse ratio is 3-to-1. And if you have a critical patient intubated, then you'll just have that patient until you get that patient stabilized, and you may get another one, or before you transfer that to ICU. Otherwise, my experience has been very good, and I already signed another contract to the facility. They offered me the same rate. But when it comes to rate nowadays, it's already the beginning of March, and at the end of last month, a lot of agency has lowered their rate significantly. A lot of my friends that are in LA was making 9 to 10K a week, 60 hours in 48 hours for 7 to 8K, and now they lowered it to 64, 65, 66 in that range. And so I wouldn't expect so much of changes in the near future about it, because COVID has gone down, and so there's not much competitive rate, but there's still rates that you would like to sign up. So I encourage you still to come to California if you feel like you want to travel. Otherwise, local is just as good. And I actually consider that if my license didn't go through, I would consider local or compact states that would offer me a good, contract. But my contract here is not the most expensive rate that I have taken. I just took it. It's because the facility I'm working in, it's not the large and the busiest facility, and so I'm not going to be stressed about it, even though my rate is not that much, or it's not that low. And so the rate right now is ranging in Bay Area is $6,400 to probably 1,000 or a couple of thousands more than that for 48 hours. And so I wouldn't expect so much difference. And by the way, that rate is weekly rate. That includes your stipend, and the stipend here are non-taxable. It's ranging from $1,200 to $1,950 a week. And so you might want to negotiate with your agency to increase your stipend instead of your hourly. Don't worry so much about increasing your hourly rate, because that is taxable income. I would emphasize to stress out about giving you the largest stipend you could ever have, because that's non-taxable and that puts more money into your pocket. So thank you for watching my channel. I hope this channel and this information helps you. If you have information about travel agencies and travel nursing experience, whatever you can input here, please comment below and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching my channel again. Hope you guys have a great day.